All right, this is exciting, but it's also kind of crazy at the same time because we are going to do another Adept Cosmetics ranking video. This video was actually suggested and requested to me by a couple subscribers since there have been so many releases by Adept Cosmetics, and I was like, I can definitely go ahead and update you. Now, the crazy thing about this is I did this video 1 year ago in January of 2023. It is now May of 2024. And we have 9 new additions to this ranking. That is, wow, it's insane. It's kind of like mind-boggling. When I lined all the palettes up and I just checked my old video, I was like, how many palettes? It was only 7. We are up to 16 palettes. I knew that they have had a run recently. They have had a run. Sandra from Adept, her team has been on fire, putting out quality products. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like 9 additions to her collection. That is insane. So literally, we're going to rank all 16 palettes. I talked about her run in my brand up, brand down video at the end of 2023. I'll link that down below as well as my last ranking. But let's go ahead and jump in because we got 16 palettes to rank. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So if you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashley, and eyeshadow is my jam. It is one of my most favorite things to talk about here on my channel. So like I said, we got 16 palettes to rank. Last time it was only 7. Let's go ahead. Let's jump in. Number 16. Oh, I will put the disclaimer. Some of these palettes were sent to me in PR, but majority of the palettes I have purchased with my own money. There are just a few. I recently just started receiving PR from Adept Cosmetics, which I'm very grateful for. Thank you. At the end of last year with the Heather Austin palette that was sent to me. Let's see what else was sent to me. Definitely the Amy's Love palette, the Flying Fiddles palette. So those are 3 palettes. Was anything else sent to me? No, I think it was just really those 3 palettes. But all thoughts will be my own. So I did just want to let you guys know that. And I'm not an affiliate. I do not have a code. But let's get going. So coming in at number 16, this is an eyeshadow palette slash face palette, but it's not my favorite. I bought it because, it's like there's some beautiful elements and I wanted to try it out. So this is the Kosmetics White palette. And like I said, it is a face palette. Oh, and let me backtrack just one more second, okay? Now, I basically have all the palettes, but I don't have the Rainbow Raider, but all the eyeshadow palettes I should pretty much have. Okay, back to Kosmetics White. Sorry. So, Kosmetics White is coming in at number 16 because, like I said, it is a cheek palette. It's a face palette, but I mainly use it for these 2 shades right here because of the rainbow shades, and this is the first time she was introducing these 2 rainbow shades. I find that they are really pretty on the eyes. In order to kind of see the whole rainbow effect across your eyes, you do need to wipe your finger vertically across. Vertical, horizontal. Get it together, Ash. You have had coffee. What is wrong with you? You need to wipe your finger horizontally across in order to get that whole rainbow effect. But I feel like the shades are very vibrant. It's the same pretty much formula that we are used to when it comes to the Adept Cosmetics, but it's just like really, it's just these 2 shades. So she is coming in at number 16. And I like the packaging. It's sleek, but I don't know. This white, I don't know. It's just catching a lot of dirt up there on my vanity. I'm not sure why. Now, coming in at number 15, this is the Minka palette. Now, I really do like the Minka palette, but I feel like I don't get a lot of use out of it. It's probably one of my least used palettes. I know a lot of people did not particularly care for the texture of these shades, and to me they're not bad. They're very high foil. They are a little bit chunkier, but to me, like, these 2 mattes are really pretty. I like it. This was when the phase when we're just kind of having 2 mattes or the 4 mattes formula or setup. And these two purple mattes, they were just okay. This is also prior to the matte reformulation process. Now, the best shades to me in this particular palette would be Linda and Selena, but these are also more in that format where they're a little bit silkier and a little bit smoother, which people are used to when it comes to Adept. But I do also really like the shade Luna. And I do feel like this is a good Christmas holiday palette. Like, look at these bronzes, these golds, or if you're like going to a really ultra glam affair. So I feel like there is a lot of purpose in this palette. I definitely feel like if you're going to use the chunkier shades, you need to tread lightly. Use your finger, pick it up a little bit, dab, go back in. Don't pick up a lot because you're going to get a lot of fallout. And definitely, you know, with all of these shadows, baby, glitter glue, that's your friend, okay? Now, coming in at number 14. So this is the Plain Jane Remastered palette. So I don't have the original Plain Jane palette, but I do have the remastered. Plain Jane was like the palette that kicked it off, and I wanted to grab it, but baby, like the way it sold out was crazy. Though, I mean, Adept still sells out to this day, but the way, like, I mean, it was like worse than waiting for Jordans. Like, you needed to be in the digital line or the digital queue very early. It wasn't even possible. They don't even have queues set up to pay, but oh my God, Adept would sell out in like 2.5 seconds, literally. But this is the remastered palette that came out in order to honor the regular Plain Jane. Now the Plain Jane one has been discontinued, but I feel like it's really pretty. It's really cute. I kind of got this like after, you know, I got in some of my other Adept palettes. So I feel like the shades are pretty. I really do love, this is my favorite shade, ironically, because you guys know I'm not so much of a neutral girly, but this is one of my favorite shades, that AC13. Oh, are we swatching? We just swatched. Okay. So, but it's such a pretty taupe shade, and it has a small pink shift, which just gives it a little extra element. It gives it a like extra shine. So I do really like that. I also like my AC. This is when they didn't have names too. They were all just AC. So do like this. This is of course like that favorite shimmer formula that everybody came to know and love with the single shades with the Plain Jane. So I feel like it's still a really solid palette. I do like it, but like I said, it's just not my favorite. And she's just, like I said, the additions have been like, wow. So that was what, 14? So now we're at 13. This is Kodan. So I really like this palette. And what does it for me in this palette is really AC 127. Oh my gosh, this shade is kind of like Pat McGrath's Corruption on steroids. Do you see that green and red shift? It's like with that super gold flip. It is absolute perfection. I adore this shade. It's so beautiful. And then we also do have another shade that kind of looks like Corruption. It's the AC 132. This one, gorgeous as well. Nice Bordeaux shade. And these two together for me is like the look. Sometimes when I dip into this palette, I do like the Kodan shade, but really I'm looking for these two shades. Like I came to look at these two. These are the main attraction for me. And not to say that the rest of the palette isn't good, but those are the two shades that I tend to prefer. And so that's why it's ranked down a little bit lower, but I feel like it was still a really pretty color story. The taupes are, that do have a nice little taupe shade. The greens, you can get some great comprehensive looks. And I do use all the shades, but like I said, those are my shades right there. I mean, do you see the flip? All right, coming in at number 12 is a newer release. This was not in the last ranking. This is the Jellyfish palette. So this one is really pretty, but god dang it, it was super expensive and it's more pastel in nature. So I do find myself using it. I used it a lot definitely during the summer. Now we're coming into the summer, spring months, so I will be pulling it out. But I felt like there were really pretty shades in here, but I also felt like this palette didn't get as much play because the price point was very expensive. I think it was over $100, and you could get like a 20% off gift card or coupon with it that was mailed to you, but you got really gorgeous shades. I really enjoy like tiger tail. I feel like that can be really beautiful, kind of more neutral look, depending on what type of match you put it on with. I really enjoy the shade Giraffe. I really also enjoy the shade Jacquard, but I felt like these two blues kind of look similar. And then you also have some really pretty goldeny pink ones. We also have this like marble shade in the middle, so you kind of get a different effect. We have some greens. So I felt like it was a good mix of colors and good summer and a good play on pastels, and also like a way that multiple people could wear pastels, because I also feel like for individuals who are deeper complected, like pastels are not always like our thing. They tend to look ashy, so pastel shimmers are definitely way more to go. But I do like this palette, but like I said, the price point, but like I said, there have been some other things that come out that's like, okay, that was really good. All right, so number 11. This is my newest addition to, well, kind of like my newest. It's like I had this one and something else that's ranked higher come in kind of around the same time. But this is the Cyborg Choir. This is the palette where I was like, baby, I'm not purchasing this. I am going to hold on out. And I am so glad that I got this in my collection. I ended up getting FOMO. I started seeing the swatches and I was like, oh, it's really pretty. Maybe it doesn't look like Element 115. And that was my whole purpose. I really thought that this kind of looked like Element 115. And that was the reason why I didn't want to purchase it, because, you know, I was trying to be responsible and save my coins. Okay. But you have some really beautiful shades. Once again, you have like my gray tone, multi-chrome in here with digital harmony. We love that. You know, I really love a gray base multi-chrome. Well, look at that fieriness in there. Also, you know, the holochrome shades are just simply gorgeous in here. Like Android Aurora. That one is a little bit chunkier, but you do have some that are a little bit more finely milled, like Mechanical Muse right here. So you have some really beautiful shades. The mattes are also really pretty. I really enjoy the deep blue, the purple, the yellow. She didn't work out for you, girl. But everything else really worked out nicely. So I feel like it's a really beautiful palette. This one, like I said, it's a more newer, it's a like, you know, it just kind of entered my collection. So I've formulated quite a few thoughts about it, but I haven't formulated everything. But as far as the ranking, I'm pretty comfortable with how I've ranked it here at number 11. And now we're going to kick it off to number 10. And this is when, like, for me, I was like, oh man, she is coming with the color stories, and it's a little bit different. So this is the Ninhydrin. You know, this is like a more complete color story. We have the two mattes. We have this gold that I love right here. See, like I said, like when I do neutrals, I need it to be, oh, it smells so good. Like I need to be a little spiced out gold. I need it to be like a little bit more bronzy. I need to have a little fleck or flare, you know, with it. And oh, it looks so good, right? Then you also have all these purples, very mermaidy. And I feel like she said she meant this palette to be grungy, but I get more mermaid vibes out of it. And like, just if you're wondering, like, this is still holding up nicely. All of the shades still feel nice and creamy. That beautiful blue and AC20, AC21, a little bit more texture, but very deep. Ninhydrin, you know, kind of had like the name sake of the palette. That was the only ones that had names back then. And oh, let's see, like AC24. Really good. When I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to play with them. I've been making a concerted effort to play with a lot of my palettes lately, like to put hands on almost every palette in my collection as of late, Lee. And I've been playing a lot with my Adept Cosmetics. I'm sure you guys are like, I am sick of seeing Adept on this lady's channel. But she's been putting out stuff, so what can I say? But this is the Ninhydrin coming in at number 10. All right, I got a fresh makeup wipe from my hand, and we're going to come in with number 9. So number 9 is La Cienega Boulevard. So this palette I've actually really enjoyed. At first when I got it, it was part of the mystery box. I liked it. But for me, it's been a very good staple complementary palette as far as the Adept palettes because of course, you know, a lot of the Adept palettes are very much shimmer heavy, but I also feel like these are some of their best mattes that they have come out with because, you know, you get a lot of different tones. You got your blacks, you got your browns, you got your taupes, you got the nice pop of red, and you do also have some beautiful shimmers here. So you can get some really nice, you know, neutral looks, but a lot of times I just kind of grab this and mix and match with the other palettes. Now that's saying a lot because, you know, Adept is not always known for their mattes, but I feel like these are formulated very nicely pigmented. You can blend them on top of each other without the colors looking muddy. And like I said, a lot of times I was just like, okay, I know this palette came with X, Y, and Z mattes, but I'm really not feeling that for this particular look or where I'm going, so I opt to put in these. So I really have been enjoying my La Cienega palette, and it's a good staple arsenal in the collection. Number 8. Oh, this is so good. Now this is like, it gets hard. It just gets hard from here on out, okay? Because I was like, is this number 8? But I'm like, I think it is number 8 because it's been so many good things. So came out also at the same time as the La Cienega. This was their inspired by Arrow palette, inspired by the television show. It was part of their last year, like their birthday series and kickoff. It was also a limited edition palette, but it came back for a few rounds to do a high request. And first of all, if you love some green eyeshadow, this is where it's at. You got all the green eyeshadow to your heart's desire. Now for me, I would say the matte situation in this particular palette is not so great. I'm only fooling with this one and this one for the most part. The 3 in the middle, I'm like, and I've said that so many times, you guys know that. But the shades in here, I love this electric blue because you can kind of just change the whole dynamic of all of these shades by using this particular blue. I love that we have like a more pink. This particular shimmer shade, I'm not so thrilled about. I do love that blue. I love this one also. And then I feel like the only shade that's really not so unique, but I definitely feel like there's a place for it in the palette is the shade Jason Broder. I feel like it's more of that traditional teal multi-chrome with the purple flip that we have seen by so many brands. But we have beautiful greens, and I feel like one of my favorite shades in this particular shade is Daniel Bricker because it does have like that kind of like that red flip, but just a gorgeous palette overall. All right, number 7. This palette was gifted to me, and this is the Heather Austin palette. And baby, she did her thing with this palette. I have been loving on this palette. As you can see, the shade Scrubs is well loved, but I will also say that this shade did kind of do that wavy thing, that wavy dip thing, as you can kind of see when the pan. Oh my God, so many just beautiful shades. Like we have the shade Austin, very high shine, very like a white base multi-chrome with a green flip, but it pairs well with just nothing else. It's a very stunning shade if you just put it all over your lid, or if you want to pair it with the shade Smith, which is I believe her maiden name. I love the matte choices because we got grungy in here, and then we kind of have like everyday like mauves and taupes in this particular palette. This is also before the reformulation of the mattes, but I feel like these mattes work pretty well for me. I have So Excited, very nice taupey sparkly shade. We got pinks, we have, you know, Hey Y'all. So I feel like there's something for everybody of this palette. The color story is very unique, very cohesive in this palette, so I really do enjoy that. Okay, so we're coming in at number 6, and she's bae. I love this thing right here. And I do have this palette on now with another palette that I'm going to talk about in just a second. And I did film this look, and this is Element 115. This is so good. This came in and just stole my heart. This actually released in like November or December of 2023, Christmas this past year. And I just love it. And for me, all of the mattes are here to play. Okay, all of the mattes are here to play. Love them. Don't have any problem using them. And the shimmers are so pretty. The purples are so unique. We got my weather balloon in here. Weather balloon is awesome because I love me a little gray tone. And I actually wore a weather balloon on New Year's Eve, mixed in with something else. Like, oh my gosh, how can you not appreciate that? And the golds and the pinks and the purples and the blues, it's just really a fun vibe over here. And I feel like this palette will also look really good on you if you have like brown eyes or brown tone, because purples just really seem to go with melanin. So, but I really like it. I feel like, it is a little intimidating with all the purples and the blues and the turquoises, but it's really a nice accent palette. Or to me, it's really a good complete palette. All right, number 5, baby, new. Like, just into the collection at the same time as Cyborg, a little bit faster than Cyborg, or maybe, I don't know, the video definitely went up faster than Cyborg. But this is the Amy Loves. This palette's only been like a month, and I'm like, honey, you did your thing, okay? Another collaboration palette. But let me tell you something. It is so good. Like, the color story and its cool tone. Adept doesn't have anything like this. Nothing that is this cool tone. The matte choices are very unique. Now, this one, it looks like it's a whole lot of matte choices, but it's actually like the same matte choices that are in most of their palettes, just 4. It's just the way it's positioned, where it looks like it's a lot. All of the shades are really pretty. I got lavender on right here. So this is the other palette that I'm wearing in collaboration with the Element 115. All of the mattes are deep and dark. She said she did that so women of color wouldn't have a problem wearing the palette. And you have glam shimmers, you have soft shimmers, you got the multi-chromes, you got a holochrome. It is just... it's fabulous. It's really good. And I know I talked about the packaging in the beginning, like I guess the texture is growing on me. But I really like how it looks, but it's the texture. But I really enjoyed that palette. Oh man. Number 4, okay? I was like, this was the January release. And this palette was actually sent to me as well as the Amy Loves palette. Flying Fiddles. Honey. Spiced out neutral palette. I'm here for the spicy neutrals. If it's a neutral, I need to be spicy, okay? I needed to have a little something, a little kick, a little dab or something, okay? And she is gorgeous. Like, you have this taupe that gives the pop, which goes with the great shade. What is it? Rust Bunny goes really well with Daffodil. You have bronzes, you have golds, you have a taupe, you got the multi-chrome, and so it's Dahlia. Dahlia up here at the top is your multi-chrome, giving that nice kind of like taupey to green to pink flip. Or right now, my complexion is just looking kind of a little bit more fiery. And that one has a very like slippery texture versus like the shade Weather Balloon that I have on right here. Really pretty shades. The matte choices are also really good. So this palette can be very neutral leaning, or it can also look a little colorful at the same time. So it just depends on how you do the shadows, how you place the shadows. But it's a lot of fun. Like, this palette went traveling with me to Aruba. Now, I didn't know eye makeup, but it came with me. So there you go, Sometimes when you get to those tropical countries, you're like, I'm not doing any eye makeup. But I thought enough of her to put it in the bag. All right, we got the top three. This one is good. And I feel like this one kind of changed the game for the shimmer setup, because once we got introduced to these shimmers, it was like, okay, come here. We want all the shimmers to be like this. Please. What you doing? We want it like this. And this is the Adept Cosmetics House of L palette. I don't know why I said Adept Cosmetics, like we've been talking the whole video about Adept. But this is the House of L palette. Oh my gosh. Cute little 9-pin palette with the most fiery, gorgeous multi-chrome shades that are just ever so beautiful. I live for these orangey red tones. Okay, Zor-El, baby. Honey, she did not come to play. We love some Zor-El. Like, it just doesn't get any more beautiful. Well, I mean, they all play. Okay, Allura Zor-El, nice and fiery. We have a perfect rose gold that's a little bit more fiery, and Cara L. Really pretty. And this is all based off of Superman. So if you're wondering like where are these names coming from, yeah, I don't do a whole lot of action movies, but yes, just, I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous shades. And right now, like they might look a little like, less to be desired, but you know, you use your glitter glue and like, look at that shade right there. That was the Allura Zor-El, I want to say, that middle orangey tone. So just an overall really, really gorgeous, gorgeous palette. And like I said, this was the one where we're like, these shimmers, yes, this is what we like, okay? Now, number 2. This palette is discontinued, sadly, but I love it so. And it's so unique out of the Adept lineup. Like, just unique. There's nothing like it. I don't have anything like it in my collection, okay? And every time I pull it out, I'm like, yes, I'm happy. This is good, okay? And this is the Amulet New palette. I love the packaging and I love the color story, okay? First of all, she gave us, like, how rude, my camera gonna cut off. But we got a gray matte, we got a navy matte, we got a purple matte, and this is the deep version. And then we got this taupe, and we also have this beautiful like peanut buttery shade and the deep brown. Oh my gosh. And then you could tell, like, look at Ree. Now my palette, this one, you're probably like, Ashley, I've never seen your palettes kind of look like this. This one, it came a little used and abused because this palette kept breaking on her in transit. So I did end up getting another one sent to me. She sent me one as a tester to see if they were making, so I think she sent like 2 testers to see if they would make it in transit and not be breaking all across. So the initial palette I did pay for, and then like I said, she sent me another couple, and then she also asked me, okay, do you want another one? I was like, no girl, thank you. I appreciate it, but I don't need that many palettes. Keep it. Somebody I'm sure is going to want to purchase it. You know, this sold out pretty quickly. But look at Ree. Oh my gosh. You know, I talk about my gray. And I'm glad I got a backup. Even though, like, let's be honest. Have I gone through this? No. But I got a backup. So even if I run through Ree, I got another backup. Because, okay, I'm going to stick Ree right here. Another great. Baby. Look. That is Ree right there. Them great. Them taupey multi-chromes, because those are the ones like you can kind of put on and you can go into some more professional settings or some different environments, and it's still like you're dazzling, but it's not too much for wherever you're going, even though I care but don't care. It just all depends. I'm very much like, where am I going? What's the day going to look like? What am I wearing? It's a lot that kind of goes into my makeup thought. And then sometimes I'm just like, I want to wear this palette, so everything else is going to be based around it. So it just kind of depends on what's happening in that day. But I just really love the thoughts and the color pattern put into this. And it's so unique. How can you not like it? It's just, it might not be your cup of tea, but it's so unique and it's like a true color story and theme from Adept. Now, number 1, I was like, is this number 1? I said, but baby, this is number 1. Stop playing yourself, okay? Because this is number 1. She also made it in the bag to go to Aruba. Did she come out the bag? No, but she made it, okay? She made it. Oh, and also I just did this look on my friend. It was so pretty for her birthday. I did Divine Rose 2, along with this baby right here, Sumarian Sunset. She is number 1. Like, baby, are you kidding me? When this came out, I was just like, I love this. I love this so much. Like, I have to have it. There was just no way that I could be like, I'm not buying this. Do you see this? This is so beautiful. It's warm, it's grungy, it's fiery. I mean, it's so much. And you could think that all these pinks and oranges look the same, but they don't. I would say one of the downsides of this palette, these 2. Enough for me, okay? These 2, no. but all the shades. We have this most beautiful right here, Talsha here. One of the most beautiful holochrome shades I've seen. Is more silver with like a peach base. And look, arm is full. Okay, we're gonna put her here, but it's just so subtle, and so if you're not like a super holochrome person, that shade is so pretty. We got Risa, we got USS Defiant, and so this is the let's see, Risa shade, really pretty, kind of a green, seafoam green, kind of gold flip. Trill, we got the Praxis. This one right here can anchor a look down, meaning like it provides that contour, that like deepening shade, so you don't have to depend on a matte if you don't want to. And you just have so many fun colors in this palette. It is just so well thought of. It just kind of makes me happy to pull it out. It brings me joy. Like I said, I just have fun playing with it with my Divine Rose palette. So I'm gonna have to pull that out and do that together. But yes, this is #1 in my Adept Cosmetics, and that is kind of crazy. Like 9 new additions. That's why sometimes I love like coming back to like a brand later on and see what has entered the collection. How do I feel about the palettes that I have? Because I had so much love for the other palettes, and now I just have so much more love for the brand. So let me know down below, which is your favorite Adept Cosmetics palette. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. With that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the chat dance, chat dance. Hey, 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 chat dance. Chat. Hey. All right, y'all. See you later. I'm still moving. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.